How thoroughly has the Biden administration mismanaged American leadership around the world? Well, here's one very significant indicator. The Saudi Kingdom, Saudi Arabia, reportedly considering accepting Chinese currency instead of U.S. dollars for its oil sales to China. This would be a huge change. For almost 50 years, Saudi Arabia has traded oil exclusively in U.S. dollars, and that has been a massive boon to the United States. According to the Wall Street Journal, which broke this story, the Chinese government is, quote, offering everything you could possibly imagine to the Saudis. What would this mean for the United States? Elbers Colby is a former Pentagon official. He's also a principal at the Marathon Initiative. We're happy to have him join us tonight. Bridge, thanks so much for coming on. So we didn't want to let this story pass. I think it's being ignored by a lot of people. It seemed like a major story to us. Is it?
Yeah, I think so, Tucker. And I think you're right to point to the dollar's role as central to our well-being in a very practical level. And I think what we're seeing is early indications of a movement towards probably two blocks, one led by us and one led by China. And that's going to have massive implications, especially if we're poorly organized. And I think the point that you're making, Tucker, which is absolutely right, is we need to be jealously and carefully thinking about this kind of crown jewel of the role of the dollar and just being very careful in how we use it. And I mean, the Saudis are a great example of poor foresight and strategic planning. The administration was very tough on the Saudis. And yes, the murder of Jamal Khashoggi was an abomination. But at the other, on the other hand, if you're going to end up needing them and asking them for help, maybe you should have think about how you approach them in the first place. And this is not the only example of that, where we need to take strategic account of the consequences and not be as solely focused on sort of moral posturing, if you will, and that's a classic example. And because otherwise we're not going to be thinking about what's in the long-term interest of the American people.
I mean, it feels like they're college sophomores. Like all they're capable of is a moral lecture. And I'm not against moralizing. We do it all the time. There are moral questions to solve. But if you're leading a country, shouldn't you put its interest at the top of your concerns? They don't seem to be.
Absolutely. I think you do. And I mean, I think you take proper account of the ways in which you're going to, pursue sort of high-minded goals, and then you stick to them. But if you're going to make a huge moral issue and then back off it when you need it, well, that's going to result in a situation in which the Saudis and the Emiratis don't return your phone call. And that's not a good situation. That's not serving anybody's interest, not serving a moral interest, and it's not serving Americans' interests.